is they keep coming back to the team. Like, they're always like around, like they're in their 60s and they're still hanging around, like
I love when the guy who used to play for the team is rooting for the team. They're in the playoffs, but not a guy on the team even knows who you are. That's how long ago it's been, you know?
Yeah, it's like the guy who's lingering around like the football games in high school, and he's like 23. You know that guy? Like,
Yeah.
He's, and we touched on this before. He's the guy that's coming to prom when he's in college. You know?
Right. And by the way, he always goes, if he played for like, no matter what sport, if you play for like 3 teams, you always linger around the organization that you had your best years. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, Tom Brady ain't hanging out in the fucking Buccaneers. You know, he's gonna go back and root for the Patriots. You know, that kind of thing, I guess. Although he won one with them too. But yeah, like, I feel like Watt's spending more time with the Texans organization through the years than he.
Oh, he only had 2.
Right?
He only had 2 in Arizona. You know, so.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our watch review. Good for you, JJ. We wish you the best in your future endeavors. Now, let's hop in, and this is one of my favorite parts of the Pete and Sebastian show over the years. It's when Pete has a travel story, and before the show, he had mentioned that he's got an airplane situation that he came across over the week.
I'll tease it and say, came semi-close to being taken off the plane in a tricky way. So first, let's start with the first one. You ever had this? This was great. I was at the airport. I was just checking something on my flight at the desk. It was no problem. But the guy in front of me was going off on the lady, saying, you know, they just closed the doors on the last flight. He says he had a seat on it, and you gave my seat away. You gave it away. You let that person on when that was my seat. And then he goes, and everyone saw it. And he turns around to me and the guy behind me goes, I have witnesses. You guys are my witnesses. And it made me laugh, because you ever been around someone who hit you with that move? You were a witness, right? Like, you're like, guy, what? What do you think I'm gonna do? Miss my flight, leave a fucking statement? I mean, I love that, man. So, anyway, here's what happened with the other flight I had this week. So I'm flying out of Buffalo. We got a connecting flight at JFK, and it's tight. And then in Buffalo, it's light flurry, so we got to de-ice. But why can't we de-ice before we get on the plane, right? So then when we get on, wouldn't it be great to get on? And the pilot goes, as you can see, we need to de-ice. The bad news is we need to de-ice. The good news is I got here early and did it before you got on.
Well, this is why I'm assuming if they de-ice early, between the time they de-ice and they take off, they got to de-ice it again, right?
All right, but can't you just have 2 rows of de-ices as we're going down to where we're going, and they just hit you like a car wash? Why do we got to go off to the side? You know, it drives me nuts. So anyway,
wait, and on the de-icing, I don't care how many times they got to de-ice. I always gotta watch. Do you ever watch the de-ice and go, oh, did they miss some?
I wonder, like, how important is this de-icing? Like, is the guy getting it going, the other guy going, Tommy, don't miss a fucking spot. One spot and bring this bird down. Yeah, right there with you. So we get de-iced, and while we're getting de-iced, I'm like, God, this is killing me. And then we took a while to get out, and right before, say 5-10 minutes before the plane takes off, because I fly Delta so much on my app, they hit me with listen, basically the message said it looks tight for your connecting because your flight's taking off late. If you want, we can rebook you right now on an 11:30 a.m. flight. That'll get me in at 4. And they go, oh, we can book you in on another flight that'll get me in too late for my show. It's going to Florida. So I'm like, shit, if I take a chance don't change my flight. By the time I land, if I miss that next flight, that 11:30 is going to be booked. I'm going to miss my show. So I better take them up on it and get on this 11:30. So I rebooked myself on the 11:30. I'm making this long, but anyway, then when we land, it turns out that the flight attendant comes on and goes, and don't get up in your seats. We still have some people have connecting flights to Fort Lauderdale, which is where I was going. Look, some other people didn't do this. They're going for it. And when I looked at the flight, we were coming in Terminal B, and the Lauderdale flight was going out Terminal C. So I'm like, oh, plus I'd have to run. Same, forget it. Now when we land, they go that one's across it's right there, the next terminal. So when I get off, I'm like, holy shit, I could have made my Lauderdale flight. So I walk over to them and I go, I was supposed to be on this. You guys suggested I stay here for 4 hours to catch an 11:30, but I can clearly get on this, so can you put me on? And the lady goes, no, we already gave away your ticket. And I go, why'd you give it away? Well, you rebooked yourself. I go, you told me to rebook myself because I wasn't going to make this, and it's right here. Down. Yes. But anyway, here's the part. I had to do the setup. So now I have a flight at 4 hours later.
Hold on, before I'm sorry to interrupt, but I wanna just kind of mine some little nuggets within your story.
Yeah, please.
Have you ever, when they're saying, please sit down and let other people get off the plane because they have other flights to catch, have you ever pretended that you had a flight to catch and got off with that group?
Oh, so shit. That's like the Die Hard when Bruce Willis follows the ambulance through the traffic. I've done that once or twice, not meaning to, like, because I'm standing and the person behind me goes, I have to get up, I have to catch a flight. I'm like, oh, so do I. So I just kind of go with the fast,
okay, so
but otherwise, no. Yeah.
Okay.
But we both know when they come on and say, please stay seated so people have to catch, you may as well just be humming a fucking tune, lady. Nobody's listening to that. You know, 'cause everybody just pops up. You know. So, and they go, oh, but don't worry, you gotta, we already have you booked on the next flight, you're all set, you know, emergency exit row, so you have foot space. So I'm like, oh, yeah, that's good. So then I get on my flight, right? They got me in it's a 4-hour flight, and now I'm in the middle seat. Before I had an aisle seat, my whole, you know, now I'm in the middle, and now the row in front of me is exit row. My row is an exit, so it's tight as hell, but because the exit row's in front of me, my seat don't even go back. Plus, there's like some sort of oxygen tank taking up half my seat under me. I got the shittiest seat, and I'm just sitting there like this, right? And I'm like this. And I'm so mad at myself, because I'd already be in Florida, sitting by the pool, smoking fucking... Well, I'd be in Florida by the pool. That's an edit. So I'm furious at myself. So then the flight attendant comes over, and she does the speech. This is what happened. She gives a speech about, I have to talk to you through an emergency exit row. And she's clearly talking to the people in front of me because they have the space. But I'm like, well, it looks like she's about to tell us too. And off rows here. But I put my head down because I'm like, she can't be talking to me. I'm in a shit row with no room. So I got my head down. She's like, are you ready and willing? And I hear yes, yes, yes. And I even hear the guy right next to me go, yes. And I'm like, oh, it is our row. I ain't even fucking looking up. And then I hear her go, sir. Right, like that. And then I do like that. I'm like, yeah. And she goes, are you ready and willing to? I go, this is an exit row. And she goes, this exit. I go, how would anyone even get through here? There's no room. And she goes, it's an exit row, sir, and I need to know you're ready and willing to help people if they need to get through. And I go, I didn't even know this was an exit row. And then she goes, sir, I need a verbal yes, or else we'll have to find you another seat. I go, oh, I can sit somewhere else? And she goes, yes, sir, if you're not going to sit there, we'll have to find you another seat. Would you like that? And I go, any seat's better than this seat. That's what I said to her. And she goes, okay, sir, one moment. She goes over to talk to the other flight attendant and look at the guy next to me, and I'm like, I mean, this is bullshit. There's no, who are we going to help? Who would come down this road? There's no room. My seat doesn't go back. So then I hear them whisper, and I know this flight's like full. It's like filling up, so I'm like, I'm only going to put me, but it can't be any worse. She comes back over and she's like, okay, sir, it seems that there's another flight later. I go, wait, you're not going to get me on another seat on this flight? And she goes, sir, if you don't want to sit there, we'll have to put you on another. And I go, oh, you didn't say that. Fine. I go, yeah, whatever. I go, well, fine. I'll save people like that. I'll save everybody. I go, I'll help everybody. You know? And then she goes, I need a verbal yes, sir. And I got to look up and I go, yes, I will help people in the emergency exit row so I don't have to be on another airplane later than I already am. Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You're an ass.
I'm not an ass, bro.
Bro.
I know I kind of was. I hate that guy. I was that guy. I hate that guy.
If I was sitting next to you, I'd be, motherfucker, just say yes. What do we gotta go through the whole fucking thing? That this is an exit road. Just get the. I'd be going, I got a flight to catch, guy.
Well, I will say in my defense, there was still a lot of boarding going on. If we were already locked and loaded, I would have been like, hey, listen, don't worry. And I even threw out at the end, which I thought was a nice touch after all. I go, yes, then fine, yes, you know. And she walks away, and I look at the guy next to me, and I go, I'll help you too. That's it. That's the shit. Because it was bullshit that our seat didn't go back. He was pissed about it too. They don't even tell you that. And bro, you don't understand. I know you fly a lot. You do understand, but our listeners might not understand who fly a lot. When you got to sit perfectly still for 4 hours, I bank on my plane sleep. That's part of my. I take that into consideration. I'm like, I'll get that free, right? So now I'm on there, and when you don't go back at all, what happens is this. What happens is like that, and you snap your neck like constantly, right? You know, and then right, just that 3 inches, just that. That is the difference between a good day and a bad day. You know what I'm saying? That 3 inches. I mean, it's all I want is that 3 inches. And then when my seat don't go back, when the plane takes off, I'm like, you know how it takes about 10 minutes to level out? I'm like, that's the only nap I'm gonna get is when I'm automatically back because we're going up. So I'm like, that's my 10-minute nap. Get that while you can. It's a whole thing, bro.
Oh shit. Oh god.
Brutal. You ever try to get a cup of coffee in an airport lately too? You can't get one in under 45 minutes. It's fucking unbelievable.
The lines are, I've never seen. As I'm walking to my gate, I see like a line going, oh, that must be a canceled flight, and now they're all in line trying to. It's a Starbucks.
I know. And I always think I'm gonna find the one coffee shop that no one knows about, and it just ain't there, man. They're just always loaded. You know, you can try getting. Ever like go, you get a cup of coffee, and like there's like a hamburger place, and I'm like, that's gotta be the shittiest cup of coffee.
Well, my whole thing with the airports in regards to coffee places. So I would bear to bet that a coffee place is the most busiest place in the airport. Why aren't the coffee places staffing up?
I agree.
When it comes to, okay, it's 6 a.m. Starbucks got 2 guys working the damn counter at 6 a.m. at LAX. Right?
Oh.
There need to be about 9 people behind there.
And then when somebody orders something that's got to go in that little piece of shit oven they got, I'm like, oh god, because now the lady stands by the oven with the fucking metal tray. I'm like, you could have got 3 coffees in until that damn thing came out of the oven. Omaha Steaks, baby, the world's best beef. I got a freezer with this stuff. It's going fast. I'm eating it so much. Naturally aged for the ultimate in tenderness, juiciness, and flavor. You can't go wrong with an Omaha steak, folks. And I just sent a couple to my neighbor for doing me a big favor by plowing my driveway. The past 2 weeks he's done it for me. And I can't tell you how grateful he is, because when you get a steak as a gift, you're like, there's somebody who knows what a gift means. Omaha Steaks have everything you need to elevate the everyday and solve the dinner dilemma with convenient, hearty, gourmet meals.
5 generations of family-owned expertise means uncompromising quality that you could trust. Now, every steak and every entree is flash frozen, vacuum sealed, and ready to share with your entire family. Every steak and every entree is backed by our unconditional 100% money back guarantee. I mean, come on, Pete.
There you go. How could you not kick off 2023 with any other way than going with Omaha Steaks? Because you get more flavor and more savings. Stock up and save up to 55% on select Omaha Steaks customer favorites. I mean, buy more and save more when you stock up on these mouth-watering deals.
Plus, with the special radio offer, get $30 off your order. Minimum order required. Whether it's appetizers for the big game, a romantic Valentine's Day dinner, or just a regular weekday night, now is the perfect time to stock up. And every order is backed by our 100% money-back guarantee and delivered right to your front door. Go get it, people! Now visit omahasteaks.com. Use the promo code THECAST at checkout. You get an extra $30 off your order. Minimum order may be required.
They just need to have people lined up like a track race with a baton, just handing off coffees as you come in. Because you can't go through security with it, so now you know 10,000 people are about to want a fucking cup of coffee. Are you losing me? You keep looking at me like you're having technical problems.
No. You're something happened where you froze,
yes,
and you sped up. And now it's back to speed. Now it's back to speed. The internet couldn't even handle your aggression, bro.
Hey, can we discuss real quick before we go any further, just briefly, and I wanted to talk about something there, when we discussed about possibly doing guests going out to Cali. I just wanted to let you know, Sebastian and I were talking about possibly me coming out there at some point after you film your HBO show and spending a week or so and having in-studio guests when the studio's done. And you said to put together a list. And you go, just put together a list and don't even worry about whether or not we'd never be able to get them or not.
Okay.
Bro, my list is, wow. It's pretty.
Do you want to share the list?
It's just, you know, I mean, are you saying to put it...
Give me a taste of like your top three.
Well, you want the white whale? The white whale. White whale's Tom, you see. Tom Cruise.
I mean, if we landed him, because I don't think this guy, again, he's like Michael Jackson. You don't see this guy doing podcasts.
But you don't see podcasts like this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm so zoned in on getting Tom Cruise on the freaking podcast that I literally took into consideration the last episode. You said you grow in a garden. Where is that going to be located? Because I think the only way we're going to land, Tom, is if you have room for him to land the helicopter in the yard. I'm not even kidding. So, do we have enough room to land it? I think there is enough room. The blade might hit that glass side wall, but I just don't see Tom Cruise getting in a car unless he comes on like a Ducati by himself and no one even knows it's him. See, Patrick, can we get this too, Tom? Or can we just get like all the times we've talked about the guy?
I think what we should do is, I think that would be a great get. Maybe we do a compilation of video of us talking about him. When we do that, we put that together in a nice package. By that time, my garden will be up and running. We send them the thing with a fresh basket of vegetables and say, come on the show. No?
That's it. I will literally convert to Scientology during the cast. If that's what it took. I'm telling you. And my list goes everywhere from, Stevie Nicks, as I'm looking forward to Tony Robbins, the guy, So, yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one. No BP in there.
I didn't put Brad Pitt on there, and I'll tell you why. Because I feel like, he's on there, but I feel like just a matter of time between your connections. I'm having a cocktail with that guy anyway.
Well, we referred to this last cast about the big birthday party that Lana and I were gonna have, 40, 50, and 10-year anniversary, everything equaling 100. We went to a party on Friday night. It was Jimmy Kimmel's 20th anniversary party that he had for his TV show, and he invited people that he has, had on the show, and guest hosted and whatnot. It's a big party, really big party. It was downtown LA in a tent, and the party was huge. I mean, it was pretty big. And as I was at that party, I was like, a big party doesn't suit us well just because it's too big. It's too big. We want to be able to kind of talk to people and enjoy it rather than like, oh, did you get to talk to them? No, I didn't get to talk to them. I didn't see them and whatnot. So what we're going to do, I think, sometime during the summer, so it's a nice little intimate dinner, maybe, anywhere between 12 and 20 people. Sit down outside, have a chef cook and whatnot. So I think that's the vibe we're gonna go. Plus we've decided, instead of spending all that money on a party, we're gonna go to Italy, I think, over the summer. Take a nice little family vacation. You're invited to the party, but it's not gonna be a,
who's who.
It's not gonna be a blowout. It's gonna be like, we haven't put the guest list together yet, but
am I going to be going, I'm sorry, Jason, can you pass the salt? Yeah. And by the way, I'm so excited for the next season. I mean, I'm looking for like Bobby Flay's coming out with the aprons. Everybody liking the taco? Bobby, sit down. Enough cooking. Get over here, guy. Are you ever I wonder, do Hollywood people ever have those kind of parties where they're like, let's just have, I don't know, I mean, I guess it depends who your friends are really at the end of the day, but I bet there's, some, like the one you were at, you talked about the last show, I mean, there was only 70 people there, like there was so many big people. Interesting. I don't know, just talking out loud. Happy for your Italy thing, a little disappointing for me.
Yeah, no, we'll have a nice little sit down or something.
I'm coming to the intimate sit down. Sadie's part of this swim club, so they had Jackie's on the board. You got to try and raise money because you got to pay for the coaches and the pool, blah blah blah. So I said, I'll do a benefit. I'll do a show. So we have a place in town called the Beaver Club, right? And I'm doing a show, but I'm doing it just for. You gotta buy tickets, obviously, but it's not like public thing where, and everybody was great, like trying to help put this thing together, but like, so there's no stage. So one guy was a real good guy. He's like, my father-in-law has this old stage in his barn. I'll bring it over in the pickup truck. And the night before I was playing in Florida, and Jackie's like, you gotta make those flights. I hope the weather, because everyone's coming to this thing at the Beaver Club. I'm more nervous to do this Beaver Club show than I was like to do theater or whatever, right? So then I get there that night, right? It's fun. It's the whole town and stuff, like all the people. But like I'm looking at the stage and they get the thing, and I go, there's no lights yet. And I'm like, so I go to one guy, what do we got for lights? How's that gonna? You think they'll see me? And he goes, no, we hooked up the lights that your wife gave us to the front of the stage. We'll turn them on. I go, my wife gave you lights? What lights did she give you? And he goes, I don't know. She said to hook these up. She said she got them out of your basement. I walk over. She took the little clamp lights that I use like when I'm spackling in the house. And she's got them each on the end of the thing. Now, the place is packed. I walk up, I got a beer in one hand, I turn the light on, there's a lady sitting right there in the crowd in the front row. She's like, you're blinding me. Now I'm turning the light, I'm like, is that okay? She's like, yeah, that'll do. And then I go, do we need that other light on? And they're like, we can't see what. So I'm going over, and in my head I'm like, bro, I just played in front of 500 at this beautiful theater last night in Florida. And nobody's even being like, oh geez, it's so, cool of you to do your wrong. Yeah, they're just going, it's blinding me. And then I'm up there and I'm riffing and I'm having fun, and I said to some guy about not knowing technology. I'm like, I'm sure you got more John Deere equipment than you do computers and data, something like that, Ooh, the crowd hits me with a ooh, and now I'm going up there in my head. I'm like, I'm doing a benefit show for my daughter's swim club, and I'm on a stage with construction lights on me, and people, recognize the favor, right? But we had a great time. It was really fun, and my wife and them, they put it together. It was really fun. But God, it's funny how
How much
I
time
did an
you
hour.
do? Oh, okay.
I did an hour, but like when I got, and it really went fun, and everyone was laughing. But you know, you get to that, I do the last thing, I get a laugh, and I'm like, I could da da da, and I'm like, hey, good night. You know, I just. But Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets and a fraction of the cost, baby.
Now, you can take them anytime, people. It's not like you gotta throw in a chewable tablet while you're sitting in bed naked going, hold on, honey, wait till this kicks in. No. You could plan ahead. Have some eggs in the morning and a side of Blue Chew. All right? Or be ready whenever the opportunity arises. You got the best of both worlds.
It's true.
The process is simple. No, it really is. Sign up at BlueChew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers. And once you're approved, and hey, I don't even know what the approval process is. I mean, you basically call up and go, I ain't hard. You'll receive your prescription within days, right, Pete?
Absolutely. And you know what's so beautiful about this Blue Chew, like Sebastian said, you know, some of these other ones, you got to look at the woman in your life and be like, baby, I got to know if this is happening or not, because if I'm popping this pill, it's got to go down. With the Blue Chew, if you just sense it might go down, you can pop one. And if it don't go down, it's fine too. Pop one the next day. The best part, it's all done online. So you have no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA, baby, and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. So you don't have to worry about any neighbors wondering what's going on. They say there's nothing sexier than confidence, and Blue Chew can help give you confidence where it counts. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code THECAST at checkout. Just pay $5 in shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code THECAST to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. You know, it's funny how those kind of sometimes it's the littlest weird, you know, the show that shouldn't be any pressure is the one that's bothering you.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, especially when you're going into uncharted waters, no stage, half lighting, you know, audience that might not even know what the hell's going on. You know, they're just there to supporting the swim club. Next thing you know, you're ripping into them for not having technology.
I know, man.
Oh my God.
That was all right, though.
Speaking of performances, my daughter auditioned for Beauty and the Beast last week in her little theater group. She loves the theater. She's done a couple of plays so far. And of course, me being a dad, I've been to the last, I think it's 3 shows she's done. And I'm looking at the other talent up there, and, you know, of course, I'm judging. Like, this one's got more lines than my daughter. You know, like, you ever do that where you kind of go...
Well, did they already pick the parts, or are we just auditioning at this point?
We auditioned for Beauty and the Beast, but I'm saying in prior plays.
Oh, okay, right.
Serafina, the last play, didn't have a lot of lines. And I felt, in watching the play, that there was a bit of politics going on in the casting of this thing, okay?
Well, let's be honest, though, bro. The way your career's going, your daughter's going to be playing your daughter in a real movie someday anyway. Daddy will give you plenty of lines in Daddy's next movie, don't worry.
Well, I know how hard she's working on these auditions. You know, she's her and Lana are really like, you know, she's really working hard. So
do you sing in the audition for Beauty and the Beast? Is there singing in that audition? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, man. What are we talking now? 6?
5.
5? Already feeling the pressure of an audition process. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Growing up lesson and all that.
Absolutely. So she did it, and she did it in front of us. And, you know, of course, you know, as parents, you know, just a little bit more personality, show, you know, bubbly personality. So she did it last week, and I go, how'd you do? She's like, I did good, Daddy. I hope I get it, you know. And I said, okay, you know, like, if you don't get it, you know, they'll give you other parts. You know, so everybody auditions with the same song, and based on that song, they start populating the play with the talent.
Right.
So I said, hey, you know, if you don't get that part, it's okay, you know. She's just like, I just don't want to play a boy, you know, like, because it's all girls, and then some of the male parts are girls. She's like, I just don't want to play a boy, you know. I don't want to put my hair up in a bun, and you know, I just don't want to do that. I want to be. She goes, I want to be pretty. So now I'm thinking we get the results today, okay?
Right.
And again, I know I've seen the talent in there, and there's some kids that are really cute. And I'm just saying, if I was running things over there, it would be a little different on who gets what part. My question to you is, if she does get, like, if she goes out for Belle, who's Beauty, and she ends up being a flower, do I have the right to go up to them and go, I got a problem with the way this is being worked out? Or do I just shut my mouth and go and look at my daughter as a flower?
Do they put these kids on tape for their audition?
That's a good question. I don't think so. That's a good question. I don't think so. I haven't seen a tape. I haven't seen anything. But I just know from what I'm seeing. I don't know. I'll ask her, but I don't know. I'm just going. It's solely based on what I'm seeing. And I know my brain is polluted with the fact that she's my daughter, and I go, oh my God, this is so cute. I get it. I mean, but I'm also filtering this through the eyes of a casting director, going, if a kid like that walked in, I didn't know him or wasn't related to them,
right?
There'd be a high probability that kid would have a big part in this play.
If what? I don't get that last part.
If I was a casting director and my daughter walked in, I would say she would be a big role in the play.
Based on what you're seeing her in her audition.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is this. When you try out for a sport as a kid, I remember my dad watching me try out sometimes and stuff, off on the sidelines or watching from the court. I think the parents should be allowed to watch the auditions to see what you're picking, so that, you know, we can all be like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Or go the opposite and go, you know, Serafine, what are you going to do? That girl was like unbelievable. Just be lucky you're a flower. You know? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree, because at least the parent would have an idea of the talent pool that the people are choosing from, so they could go, like your father, like, shit, when I played basketball freshman, I made the B team, rightfully so. And my father said, you know, you lucky you're going to get on the bench on the B team based on what I saw in the first practice. So I think you're onto something in regards to the parents being a part of the audition process. But I know why they, you know, if that was the case, all these parents would be in there bitching and complaining about why their kids not where they're supposed to be. But we get the results today, and we'll see.
If this is an all-girls class, right? All-girl production?
Well, there's 2 boys and there's like 12 girls.
I was going to say, I mean, you know, how are you going to talk one of these girls into being the Beast as a parent? You know what I mean? That's a tough sell. But there is a boy that's going to play the Beast, thank gosh.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm
going to go to Sadie. Listen, so the teacher called, What do you think about being the beast? But hear me out. You know, you.
Shit.
Well, that's cool that she's got the bug. You don't even know, bro. There could be this going on. Your daughter's crushing it, and the teacher's like, I know this other little girl would love it too. And Seraphine is probably going to be in her daddy's TV shows and movies down the line, so let's give it to the other girl. There's a lot going on there, man. Anyway,
shit.
that's going to be fun, man, to like see our kids do stuff. Like, that's the thing when we watch that Watt video for his mom and dad. You know, when the mom's like, we expected big things and hope for big things, but wow. Can you imagine watching your kid, like, can you imagine just watching your daughter on Broadway doing a monologue, you're in the front row with tears just flowing. Awesome, dude.
Broadway, I was in tears at the last play I went to go see her in. And she had 4 lines.
How long is the audition, like, as far as, could you memorize it?
I know it now just because I've heard it so long. You know, for so many times in the car on the way to school, she's singing by one, and I'm like, okay. Caruso knows the song.
Is he showing any acting interest?
You know what he's showing? Jiu-jitsu ability.
Oh yeah.
So this guy runs up on me and he gets on my back and takes me down, and it's like he's 3, you know. But then I'm looking at going, is this abnormally strong for a kid his age? And I went over here. I wanna throw this one at you. Went over to a friend of ours' house, and I was wrestling with Caruso on the grass, and the other kids that were there started piling on me. Like, they started wrestling with me too.
Yeah.
What's your take on, like, other kids?
Yeah.
Like wrestling. Like, I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I don't want to. Like, I toss my kid around because I just know it's my kid, and But like when another kid starts wrestling you, you're like, hey, what? Like, I don't want to be that guy where I just laid down and let them like jump on my back.
Right.
There was
we give him a delicate push over, like a little, just gently right over there, and get back at it with my kid. It's wild, isn't it wild when you first get to the point where you're wrestling with your kid, and it's the first time that they've ever actually physically hurt you? Like, for my daughter, it's the kicking, and I remember she reached a certain age where she kicked me. I'm like, she gave me a Charlie horse. Like, it just changed the dynamic, you know what I mean? And with a boy, you know, the way they come and jump on you, I see it all the time with my brother's kids and stuff. It's like, if I'm not expecting it, you could break a rib.
Oh yeah.
When you jump, right?
He came at me and he banged his head against my forehead. I went down. And he didn't even feel it. He just looking at me.
Fucking headbutted you.
He wasn't affected. I was laid out.
Right. I couldn't handle it, boy. I feel like God knew at my age. He's like, listen, man. I mean, I see them. I go to the waiting room somewhere. I see he's sitting there, relaxed, probably like your daughter. They're fucking all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different vibe. All right, listen, I got this one story. This is another one of these stories. Yesterday, I was walking down the sidewalk, coming back from lunch with my family, my 2 kids. And out of nowhere, this guy come up to me and goes, hey man, what's up? And it took me a while to figure out who this guy was. It's a guy that used to come into the Four Seasons when I used to work there. I wouldn't say he was a regular, but he used to come in with another buddy. Cool guys, you know, just hanging out, you know, kind of rough around the edges. Not like the typical clientele that was at the Four Seasons at that time. These guys were on like the fringe. You know, they would stop in for a drink and then go to the nightclubs. From New York, you know, kind of brash. I hadn't seen him in 16 years since, shit, longer than that, 17 years. So he's like, oh my God, bro, what's going on? So happy for you. You know, like 17 years ago, I went into the Four Seasons. You just weren't there anymore, and they said that you had made it. I can't believe, you're so funny and this and that. I said, oh, thanks, man, I appreciate it. He goes, this your family? I said, yes, my family. Oh my God, like, nice. Shook everybody's hand. He's like, I got your number. Is this your number? I go, no, that's not my number anymore. Right? And just, I gave him my new number, not even thinking anything of it. My new number, what have you. Now Lana and the kids go, we're gonna go get a cup of coffee. We'll be right back. He starts talking. I go, you talk to your buddy Bill anymore? He goes, nah, he's now I'm sensing something going on. He's like, yeah, he didn't really help me out. He goes, I got into some trouble, and I needed a friend, and he wasn't there for me. And he looks at me, and I look at him, and he goes, I'll tell you. I did die. Right? Yeah. It's in prison. No joke. This prison was no joke. And he names the prison, right? But he named the prison like I knew prisons, right? Like, like he said it as if he goes, yeah, I did time in Alcatraz. But it wasn't Alcatraz. It was like, I was like,
I did 3 years at Sawfin. Right?
Like I did time there. That's the way he was.
Yeah, that's the one in Montana, right? Yeah, those winters. Fucking winters. Were you in cell block D with the
There's no air conditioning in that one. It was like he had said it like a college.
Right.
Like
you don't remember the name of it, don't you?
I don't remember the name.
Wow, man. Wow.
And
they usually tell you how much time when they tell you the place.
I asked.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've been around anybody that's done time in prison, but
no.
I feel like when you asked how long they did in prison, it then alters your thinking of what they went through. Like if someone tells you
what they did.
What they
it
did?
alters my thinking of what they did. If they go, I did a year, I'm like, yeah, he probably didn't pay his taxes. I was in Sawfin for 15. I'm like, guy killed his wife. Fucking guy driving me killed his wife. Oh, and yeah, and then your point, and he got raped quite a bit. I mean, I feel like I could dodge people for a year, right? I could keep my cheeks tight for a year. By year 15, I'm married, guy.
You're somebody's bitch.
Oh, hey, maybe he's mine. Who knows? But no, yeah, of course. I'm slapping on lipstick and doing a high voice. Good morning, Ken.
Oh God.
I haven't had my piece of cake at dinner in a long time. Let's put it that way. My hubby needs 2.
Oh shit. So
yeah. Did he tell you how many years?
15 months.
Right. White collar crime.
I know the crime. I'm not gonna tell you because it wasn't. It wasn't murder or anything like that. But he tells me he's a born again Christian, right?
Right.
But he's Jewish. Is that possible?
Is he still Jewish? Or is he like, I was Jewish, now I'm born again Christian?
Well, could you go born again and just technically say it's born again Jewish?
So you're saying he did a born again thing, but born again Jewish? I never heard of that.
No, he's born again Christian, but he's Jewish. But what I'm saying is it interchangeable? Like,
I feel like once you're born again Christian, you wipe away whatever you were, because now you're Christian, right? By the way,
I just don't.
When people are born again, first of all, they always have to tell. And even when you're not with them, if they're gonna be where you are, like let's say you're born again and I'm going to a party, I'd be like, and my friend Sebastian's come. They always warn you too. My friend's gonna be born again. Like they let you know someone's coming to your party that's born again.
Yeah.
This is very weird.
But what I'm saying is the born again brand, born again Christian, I look at it as a brand. And that's what you do when you had trouble in a previous life. Then you all of a sudden you go, you know what? I'm going to leave that behind. Restart, born again. It's like the New Year. It's like a New Year's resolution, right?
You're right.
It's right. So
it's a cleanse. Yes.
It's a cleanse. So what I'm saying is, if you're Muslim, if you're Jewish, and you do something bad, and you want to restart, do you go to the Jewish religion and go, is there like a born again Jewish like thing I could get involved in? They go, no. Oh fuck, let me go outside the religion now to the Christian, because they offer a program where you could be born again. That's what I'm saying. Like,
right. I know what you're saying. But that's like, they got a wax that's designed just for a Porsche, and I'm putting it on my Prius. You know what I'm saying? You can't take the born again method and apply it to the Judaism guy. It's like, that doesn't work. If you do born again, you are now Christian. Right.
Yeah, but like, aren't there in the born again like class? I don't know what they go through, right? I don't know what born again and what they go through, and but can't they adapt the born again brand? Like, okay, welcome to let's say it is a class. They come in and they go, okay, welcome to born again. All right. Right. What you got to do to be born again is you got to do 5 things. You got to go and
right.
You got to wash. You gotta wash your face with the water. You gotta go into a steam room, or whatever the hell the thing is.
Gotta be baptized in a river, right? Fucking confession, yeah. But the thing is, you're Catholic. Let's say you murder somebody, and and you want forgiveness, so you go to a priest, forgive me, blah blah blah, right? You're still Catholic. You're just asking for forgiveness. If you go, listen, that ain't enough, I gotta do a deep cleanse. Is that what born again is? like sometimes you do something so bad that you gotta reboot this whole fucking thing. Like you're like that. Don't I don't understand. Anyone who's ever born again, like you said earlier, it's because some heavy shit happened in the past, right?
Yeah, no one's just sitting around going, I don't know, that's pretty good. Yeah, to be born again would be nice. I mean,
that'd be a fun Sunday. Why don't we do that? So they got you. I guess they got you in Sawmill after all, huh, fella? Now, by the way, too many times you had. Isn't there a party that's like, the next convict has me in their phone contacts now? That's nice.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh shit! Now if they, let's say he goes through a relapse and he goes back to that life, and then they get his phone, and they go, the fuck you got? What did he do? I'm gonna get a call from the police in 2 years. Did you give your number?
Right.
Outside of Starbucks to?
Yeah.
Nah.
You hope it's a call. I'm worried. Knock at the door, 6 a.m. Search warrant. Do you make coffee? That's what I do. I tell Jackie, put coffee on the front. Let him know how much, like, we don't care about you. Like there's one way to do it where I like to do a good fellas, get the fuck out of here. And the other way is, you guys want some coffee? Because if I was an FBI and I'm doing a search warrant and the wife offered me coffee, I'd turn to my guy and go, there's nothing here to give us coffee.
So you think the coffee plays into? You think the coffee plays into the search? they were flipping the mattresses on, and the guy comes in and he goes, George, they just offered us coffee. Make the bed. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Listen, you're about to go to jail because you got a brick of cocaine. You don't offer somebody coffee. You're enticing me to stay longer. You know what I'm saying? In your case, pretty soon you'll be able to offer tea with a little homemade honey. We're too good, bro. We gotta stop. This enough. We gotta. Show's over. I mean, Jesus.
How much could you give
I don't
for
know.
barely no pay?
People are like, no pay. We've already went through an Omaha commercial. You know.
Well, people are saying there's too much commercials on this thing. You know, but what are you gonna do? I mean, it's just part of the thing. You know where there's no commercials? Patreon. $5 a month, you get one episode. You get one episode extra a month. You get behind the scenes footage, and it's all right there. And you get early access. Does the early access have the commercials? You don't want any commercials? Early access on Patreon, $5 a month, price of a cup of coffee, and you get a better buzz.
So what's going on with this Daddy versus Doctor podcast?
All right, so it's my pediatrician, our family pediatrician, and myself. What we do is we basically take callers, and the callers are calling in about anything from, hey, I have a behavioral problem with my son, to my daughter has a rash on her back, and basically the doctor gives a general diagnosis of what it can be, and then I add a little flavor, a little humor. And basically it's infotainment. It's providing information to parents about the health and well-being of their kids, but it's made fun because we feel that a lot of these parents feel like they're on an island. You well know that, when Sadie's sick, you think you're the only one going through that. And what this show does is kind of let everybody know that you're not alone. Everybody's dealing with these problems. And it's fun, it's informative, and we really have a good time with it. He's a doctor, he's a parent, I'm a parent, and we feel like this show is something that it's a category that's not really being served in the podcast community. It's two guys talking about parenting. Generally, everything's kind of geared towards mommy, daughter, classes, mommy and me, or whatever. And you don't really see the perspective from a dad's point of view. So we feel like this is something that we feel that people need, and we have fun doing it because the doctor and I often talk off air about pediatrics and whatnot. It tends to get a little funny, and we figured, why not we make a podcast about it?
That's the key too, because sometimes I know, like on these certain platforms, they do have shows like your Dr. Oz or something, where maybe you can get a little insight onto stuff like this, but you put those on, and within like 5 minutes I'm like, I feel like I'm in a doctor's office. That's why there's a nice yin and yang with the Daddy Doctor podcast.
Well, thank you.
Your doctor's a funny guy too, man. He's a good dude.
Yeah, and it's not like he's a stuffy doctor. Pete met him at the party, and definitely has a sense of humor about him. Very relaxed. He's the only doctor I know that wears cologne, so he's got to be cool. So there you have it, Daddy versus Doctor, every Friday, a new episode up on any platform that you get your podcasts.
The governor of Georgia has declared a 15-day state of emergency and deployed the National Guard in anticipation of the Tyre, Nichols, and Cop City riots. If you're not following the stuff, we've got the Tree City Antifa people, Treehouse Antifa, whatever they're calling them, domestic terrorists. These are a group of dangerous individuals who, this may be shocking for many of you to hear, but they crossed state lines with guns. They crossed state lines. I know. Heard all about how dangerous it was and how wrong it was to cross state lines with guns. During the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, ladies and gentlemen, we now have a large group of far left extremists not just one person, who have crossed state lines with guns. Okay, now that joke is over, because you get the point how stupid this is, the actual serious element of this is they did cross state lines with guns, went to the forest, and then when the cops showed up and said, hey, y'all have been burning down buildings, attacking innocent people, homeboy shoots a cop, putting him in the hospital. Cops return fire in self-defense, killing this guy. They start going on a rampage. They start calling for assassination of police. And now, to make it all worse, we have this story of Tyre Nichols. Now, there's been a handful of cops who have been charged. I believe they have been charged with murder. We'll go through that story. And they're going to be releasing the body camera footage today. Apparently, it shows them committing murder. Now, I don't know how much I will believe the activist rhetoric. These cops were all black. They've all been charged. I believe they've been charged, suspended, etc. But I'm wondering if this is another story where it's like a guy fights with cops, they pin him down, he dies somehow. Or is this legitimate? And so I'm interested in seeing the body camera footage. Apparently, people who have seen the footage were like, oh crap, yeah, it's actually really bad. But you know what? Charging these cops, it's not going to do anything. These people want to riot, they want revolution. This is an excuse. You're giving them an excuse. Trying to placate them is not going to work. Well, let's read what's going on. Timcast.com reports Georgia governor declares 15-day state of emergency, deploys National Guard in anticipation of Tyre Nichols and Cop City riots. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp has issued a 15-day state of emergency and deployed the National Guard after riots over the weekend. He's asking 1,000 Georgia National Guard troops to be on standby from the Georgia Department of Defense. On January 18th, 26-year-old Manuel Turan, a protester, Timcast.com, a domestic terrorist, opposing the construction. Who wrote this one? Cassandra. You know, here's the thing. I may be a little bit more bombastic, but these guys were charged with domestic terrorism. So I don't think it's fair to call him a protester. You could say, hey, here's what I think would be appropriate. But again, I'm not necessarily trying to go to my editorial team and tell them how to phrase or frame things all the time. I do it sometimes. So this one, it's like, I don't know, I think something should say, maybe say something different. Maybe I'll message him after this. I would say, if I was doing a news report, this is opinion stuff, but let me tell you, I would say January 18th, 26-year-old Manuel Turan, a far-left extremist or an alleged far-left activist who has been charged with domestic terrorism. They say a protester opposing the construction of a new Atlanta police department was fatally shot by police after firing upon officers. At about 9 a.m. today, as law enforcement was moving through the property, officers located a man inside a tent in the woods. Officers gave verbal commands to the man, who did not comply and shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation said in a statement, other law enforcement officers returned fire, hitting the man. Now, he died. I think I'd rather say something like, you know, on January 18th, 26-year-old Manuel Turan allegedly opened fire on police in an attempt to create an autonomous zone and block police from entering property to build a police city. The officer was reportedly in serious condition. Police returned fire reportedly in self-defense, striking and killing Manuel Turan. There's probably ways you could do it. The $90 million training facility known as Cop City will sit on 381 acres in the Weelaunee Forest. It has been protested for over a year by anti-law enforcement militants and environmental activists calling themselves forest defenders. Many have been camping on the grounds and in makeshift treehouses in an attempt to stop the construction. On Saturday evening, hundreds of protesters marched to the streets of Atlanta in protest. A police car was set on fire, several businesses were vandalized and had their windows smashed, and ultimately 6 people were arrested. And they've been charged with domestic terrorism. Local station WSB-TV reports that the state of emergency was issued moments after police in Memphis announced felony charges against 5 police officers accused of killing a man during a traffic stop on January 10th. Tyre Nichols died 3 days after authorities said he ran after being pulled over on suspicious driving. Here we go. What was this guy doing? All right. The Atlanta Police Department issued a statement saying they will support peaceful protests in our city. The only problem is you've got domestic terrorists going around firebombing things, so good luck. We are closely monitoring the events in Memphis and are prepared to support peaceful protests in our city. We understand and share in the outrage surrounding the death of Tyre Nichols. Police officers are expected to conduct themselves in compassionate, competent, and constitutional manner. And these officers failed Tyre, or it might be Tyree, their communities, and their profession. We ask that demonstrations be safe and peaceful. Before the last weekend's protests, 7 activists involved in the protest had already been charged with domestic terrorism. So I don't know if you call them protesters. The challenge is this. If the government arrests a protester who is a legitimate peaceful protester and then calls them a domestic terrorist, we are not going to do that. But these people were arrested and charged after, I don't know, shooting at cops and throwing explosives. And again, the government can claim these are the people that did that, and therein lies still the challenge. But if we're going to definitively refer to this individual as a protester, that is to imply we definitively believe they were there and involved, in which case, either you say alleged domestic terrorist or alleged protester, because we don't actually know if they were even there. It's tough, right? In a press release about these arrests, the GBI alleged that protesters had been involved in a series of serious criminal activities, including carjacking, various crimes against persons, destruction of property, arson, and attacks against public safety officials. Law enforcement continues to address the criminal acts committed by the individuals that continue to occupy the area of the proposed training site. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Here's a story from News Channel 3. Tyre Nichols traffic stop video to be released Friday. That's today. You know why they're putting it on a Friday. And you could argue it's actually a bad idea. People put out information on Fridays. That's where the news goes to die. However, when you're putting out police brutality videos on a Friday, you're basically saying, y'all got all weekend to riot. Now, before I read this story, I just want to give a shout out to the guys over at the Vulcan Theater and just let everybody know, I believe the IRL live, which is kind of funny, Timcast in real life, in person. It's like a weird thing to say. But sold out. I can't believe it. We did not expect it to happen. It looks like it's sold out already. So if you didn't get your tickets, wow. Really excited for this one. For those that aren't familiar, we're doing a live event April 14th, 7 p.m. It's going to be Timcast IRL live on stage with, you can see here, we've got Luke Rutkowski, Alex Jones, Alex Stein, Blair White, Michael Malice. How could it, we probably should have prepared for that. How could it not sell out when you have Alex Jones? I mean, I don't think Tim Pool is the main draw getting everybody bought the tickets. I'm sure many of you bought the tickets because you wanted to come see me for sure. But look at that lineup. I'm really excited for this. It's basically just the homies down in Texas. We want to do an Austin event. Of course, AJ, Malice, Blair White, they're down there. We were really excited to have them all come on stage and hang out with us. We'll probably rotate and you know, have some people will hang out for a couple hours or for an hour and then switch out. But just want to make sure everybody knew that. It looks like it's sold out. You can check by clicking the banner at timcast.com, but let's read the news. Memphis, Tennessee. The city of Memphis will release video of the police stop that led to the death of 29-year-old Tyre Nichols. Is it Tyree? I'm saying Tyre? After 6 p.m. Friday. That's 7 p.m. Well, I guess we'll have that video just in time for IRL tonight. The announcement was made Thursday by Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy and later confirmed by Memphis Mayor Jim Strickland. Officials have said they wanted to give Nichols' family opportunity to see the video before the public. My friends, they're putting it out on a Friday night because they're hoping they can mitigate the chaos. So, okay, look. Friday nights are the lowest live audience we get for Timcast IRL, which is why we're doing an event live on a Friday night. Because we were like, you know, why is it that people don't watch IRL in the same frequency on Friday as they do on, say, Wednesday? Well, it's because they're going out and hanging out with friends and they're not sitting at home watching podcasts. Some of you are. Some of you are hanging out with your friends and watching the show. And I said, let's do the show from a venue so people can actually come out in person and watch. And that is their Friday night. That sounds fun. But why would they release video footage at 7 p.m. on a Friday night of a guy dying at the hands of police? Because everyone is out partying and nobody will watch it. 7 p.m. Eastern time. They may as well not release anything. Earlier Thursday, a grand jury returned indictments against 5 former Memphis police officers after Nichols' death earlier this month. To Darius Bean, Demetrius Haley, Emmett Martin III, Desmond Mills Jr. and Justin Smith were booked into the Shelby County Jail on charges of second-degree murder, aggravated assault, 2 counts of aggravated kidnapping, 2 counts of official misconduct, and official oppression. Now, all of these cops, I believe, are black. So this is not some white supremacist case. However, I'm not here to claim the leftists are being hypocritical. The leftists hate cops. I mean, they'll probably exploit racial politics if the cop was white. But here they're just like, cops are bad. Remember, they said all cops, ACAB, right? Tyree Nichols' family had called for first-degree murder, but Mulroy explained first-degree murder usually falls into one of the following 2 categories: premeditated or intentional killings and felony murder. Mulroy said second-degree murder is generally an unplanned, intentional killing or death caused by reckless disregard for human life. Mulroy said he met with the family about these charges and it went well. Their attorney, Ben Crump, released a statement saying the charges give them hope. I'm wondering, man, are we going to see body camera footage and it's going to basically exonerate the cops? Look, I would not be surprised if we see the body camera footage and it confirms these cops did bad. I'm not going to give the police the benefit of the doubt. But I'm not going to give Ben Crump the benefit of the doubt either. For all we know, it's going to be like this guy swinging at cops and they're like, stop, and they pin him down, and then he's wrestling and fighting, and then he like grabs the guy's taser, and so they hit him and then he dies or something. Remember that story where the guy is he's sleeping in the Wendy's drive-thru? He was drunk driving. The cops are like, all right, dude, get out of the car, you're driving drunk, man. Yo, you can kill somebody driving drunk. I believe he was reportedly driving drunk. And then when the police tried to detain him, he tries to run. He grabs an officer's taser. As he's running, he turns, points it at the cop, and he goes, no, and then he shoots him. And then they tried to destroy this guy's life. Didn't they burn down the Wendy's too? It's like, what did Wendy's do? They were just trying to give a guy a burger. I don't even know. I think the issue was the Wendy's called the cops like, hey, there's a guy sleeping in our drive-thru. Can you move him? And it really is kind of a bummer, man. This guy should not have been driving drunk. But it really is a bummer that they could have just moved his car, parked it, and just be done with it. But you know what? Driving drunk kills people. That's why we say, you can't do this. Falling asleep in a drive-thru in the wee hours of the morning. And the cops who stopped him, they were like, look, man, you did this. Now, part of me says, man, why can't we, as a society, just have the cops be like, okay, dude, you look inebriated, but we want to de-escalate. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to call somebody right now to come and drive you home, and we're going to call it a bad hair day and try and avoid any conflict so nobody gets hurt. I'm not saying that is the solution, right? Because then this guy drives drunk again or something, you know. I'm just saying, maybe we need to approach policing in a solution-oriented manner as opposed to a punitive-oriented manner. And I suppose the idea is you gotta get people who are driving drunk or whatever off the streets. And a DUI would stop this person from driving, like, dude. And the judges do interpret the law. And I think a lot of people underestimate the court system. You'll be surprised. Judges don't want to send you to jail. They don't want you going to jail. Jails are jammed up. As much as these activists want to claim we have the biggest prison population, we got a lot of violent crime, there's a lot of problems in this country, but yo, they try everything to keep you out of jail. Look at New York City, they've been trying as hard as possible. They're just releasing criminals. So maybe that whole thing could have been avoided if they just said, pull your car in right here, you're good, out of the vehicle, my guy, we think you're drunk, here's what we're going to do, call your buddy right now and we're going to wait. You need to get someone here to drive your car, that's it. Maybe it's naive. Maybe it's naive, but I'm just trying to imagine a scenario where riots don't happen, Wendy's doesn't get burned down, a dude doesn't die, a dude doesn't fight with cops. But it really does come down to this. Don't attack police, steal their weapon, and point it out. As for this Tyree Nichols guy, I have no idea what he did. I don't know. We'll see the body camera footage later. And I don't trust these people. I really don't. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. We all saw the George Floyd body camera footage. I'd like to say the Democrats have. They did. We had the Krasensteins on. They're like, oh, we didn't actually watch it. They didn't actually watch it? This is the challenge, man. The Krasensteins, and with all due respect, I appreciate they came on the show, right? And I was like, did you see the body camera footage? Like, no. Everyone here did. Even hippie Ian, who often is like, it's good when you get pulled over. And we're like, and Luke's screaming at him. The cops try to keep me safe. No, they're not. They're filling quotas to make money. That was funny. But even Ian is like, yeah, he's like fighting cops, screaming, put me on the ground, put me on the ground. It's like, dude, we actually watched that body camera footage and we went, oh, wow. It's not so cut and dry. But this is what they do. They're going to release this video on a Friday at 7 p.m. Nobody's going to see it. The activists will then take selects from it and claim, aha, look, the police did this thing. Let's talk about that dude. He's Patrice Culler's cousin or whatever. The left posts a video of him on the ground begging, like, no, help me, please, please don't hurt me. Several hours later, he dies. He's saying things, they're trying to George Floyd me, they're trying to George Floyd me. Dude got into an accident, apparently while on drugs, fled the scene of the crime and tried stealing someone else's car. And the police still were like, please, sir, please, just sit down, just wait. And he's like, I'm sorry, officer, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And then he tries running and they're like, stop him. Yeah. These stories are out of hand, man. Out of hand. And the left wants an excuse to riot and burn it all to the ground. Because, I don't know, they're weirdos and they're bored. We can't live this way. Simply put, we cannot live this way. Look at this. Police stopped Nichols near his home in the Hickory Hill neighborhood around 8:22. There was an altercation between Nichols and several officers and pepper spray was deployed. Nichols fled on foot before a second confrontation with police. He experienced serious injuries at this location, Mulroy said, and later was taken away by ambulance. Mulroy said there was an elapsed period of time before an ambulance was called. So what happened? He fled. Did he fight with the cops? I don't think the answer to all this is always just comply, but it tends to be. And this is the challenge. It really, really depends. We've learned a lesson from history that when the government comes and says, get in the freight car, get in the truck, we saw what happened in Nazi Germany, and the left wants to bring up Hitler and Nazi Germany all day, every day. So what do? If the government pulls up with a truck and says, get in or else, what do? This is the challenge. The left says this is why you don't comply. But my friends, I gotta say, there's a big difference between military vehicles pulling up with guns and demanding you get into a truck and a cop catching you committing a crime and saying, please put your hands behind your back and go to jail. Here's what I've learned. A lot of these cases where people are unjustly arrested, they are not won by fighting with cops. In fact, quite the opposite. You lose instantly. And I'm not a fan of cops arresting people on BS charges. That's a violation of someone's rights. But I've actually witnessed it, and I've contributed to the exoneration of an individual. This goes back 12 years or so. There was a guy standing on the sidewalk taking photos during Occupy Wall Street. He said he wanted to document the police side of the story. The cops arrested him for no reason. They lied on their police report, said he was obstructing a roadway. He wasn't. He was standing on the sidewalk. Fortunately, I was filming at the time, and my live stream captured him standing on the sidewalk when they arrested him. The police lied. Had this man fought with the police, there'd be no exoneration. They'd say he fought cops, he assaulted an officer, and he resisted arrest. And they'd say, there's the video footage proving it. Instead, he placed his hands behind his back. They put him in the arrest wagon. He then later got a lawyer and said the cops lied. And although he went through some BS, he won. Here's the problem. The cop who lied under oath, I believe lied on the stand, faced no accountability. That makes me very angry. Makes me very, very angry. A police officer lied on a police report and lied under oath and wasn't imprisoned, wasn't stripped of their badge, her badge, wasn't fired. Evil. That, my friends, is evil. And that's why I can certainly understand why people don't like cops. My point here is, you don't win by swinging at officers and fighting with them. You win through the legal process and through strategy and tact. I'm not going to pretend I have all the answers, my friends. I can only tell you this. They're deploying the National Guard, preparing for riots. So please pay attention, because, you know, hopefully it does not get bad, but it's already been very, very bad over the past week, past several days, past year, with these far-left extremists carrying weapons across state lines. I don't see anybody calling that out, huh? Where's the far left to complain that they're doing that? All of a sudden, they just don't care anymore. We're gonna have to wait and see what's in this body camera footage, but hopefully, I'm hoping that things remain as calm as possible. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you all.
Look at my guitar and I smile, and I bet they're all still hanging around. I'm still thinking about yesterday. Driving down my old house, drive by first. She still lived there, I go by with that beef, sir. Well, I just drink it away. I just think about time passing by, waving and say goodbye. You better learn how to cry. It's here to stay for a little while. You better learn how to smile before it goes away. Six streets, a trailer park, bottle of beer, wondering what the hell am I doing here? Far away from all the pain and the fear that I knew I had, and I wish I had again. Too late to come back, too late to cry, too late to sit around wondering why. Maybe I'll just buy a ticket and fly on back to yesterday. It ain't all that far away. Yeah, time passing by, waving and say goodbye. You better learn how to laugh, learn how to cry. It's here to stay for a little while. Better learn how to smile before it goes away. The sun's already down, the beer's all gone. Wondering where I went wrong. There's nothing left to do, sing a sad, sad song. Think about it again. get there.